What was the creepiest thing your teacher did? High school PE teacher liked putting his hands on his students. I'd joke about the football players, but the rest of us were uncomfortable with it. During class while we were taking a break, I was talking to friends and he grabbed my shoulders and was squeezing them. I removed his hand and he yelled at my friends and me to get back to working out. For the next few weeks he would single us out to do extra work until we complained to the principal. He ignored us the rest of the year, which was fine by us. Had a professor in college that would constantly bump into me in the halls after waiting outside my classes, send me personal emails, knock on the glass windows next to the doors of other classes to wave at me, and ask me out to study sessions all the time. He wasn't even my professor, at any point in time. Ever. He came in on the first day thinking our class was his for about 10 minutes before figuring it out. That was the closest he ever got to being my teacher. Final straw. One day I left class early to go see some dance competition that was going on. Stayed for about 20 minutes and was heading out. Got to my car when an email came in. "Are you still at the dance thing?" Nope. Nope. He took in a girl in my class to live in his house with him and his wife, and then after graduation divorced his wife and married said girl. This was during high school, so she was probably 16 when she moved in and he was in his 50s. The girl had a rough family life, so he posed it as some sort of charitable act, but that was quickly called into question when they started dating publicly. He was later fired for something similar that had happened years before with a young student, but that relationship never panned out. It's only creepy in hindsight, but still pretty creepy. In year 7, age 11 to 12, we had an IT teacher who always called us petal, flower and sausage, depending on gender. Girls were petals and flowers, boys were sausages. He also touched us a lot, touched us on the shoulders, arms, things like that. I don't remember if he ever touched our legs or not. As a young kid I thought nothing of it, I just thought he was a bit weird and overly friendly. That's the beauty of being a kid, stuff like that just doesn't faze you because you have no idea how creepy it actually is. He was eventually fired after the school network admins discovered a bunch of child porn in his profile folder. Now this is the bit that confuses me. He was an IT teacher. Surely he would have been smart enough not to keep child porn on the school network. But apparently not. This was like 1998, so I don't know what happened to him in the end, or if there even were laws about internet child porn at that point. But probably so. Worst part is he wasn't the only pedophile teacher my school had, but I've actually forgotten who the other one was because he didn't actually do anything to the kids at school, as far as I know. I just found out years later. My school had some fantastic teachers too, to balance it out a bit. I cannot blame the school itself. Pedophiles can easily go undetected with no criminal record, etc. Substitute math teacher in high school. All-girls Catholic school. He showed us porn on the data projector screen from his laptop. But before that, I asked him for help with calculating parabolas and other quadratic equations. He didn't know how to do it apparently, and as he was saying "ooh, I'm not too sure," he stretched his arms down to lean on my desk and I could see that he was trying to conceal a boner. He would always be extra friendly towards me as well, which I thought I was just being paranoid about. But he would come by my desk during class a lot, call my name to come to the whiteboard, offer me extra help during lunch or after class, which I didn't need in the slightest and didn't take up, chat with me in the mornings when he would arrive on campus, and yeah, I realized it was more often than not. We got him fired though. The mother of one of my girlfriends put in a complaint about the porn situation above, and a couple of other mothers came forward as well about it. Not to mention he was a useless math teacher anyway. He really didn't know what he was doing. All he'd do was doodle on the whiteboard, stare at his laptop and lurk the classroom. The Hod for religious studies also got fired. Rumors went about that he was acting inappropriately towards girls in his class. Apparently he would drop markers and pens etc. and demand the girls to pick them up in front of him. He'd look up their skirts while they were bent over, all while he'd walk around school acting holier than thou. Lovely. Actually, I'm a teacher myself and I want to talk about something I saw another teacher doing. I was teaching primary school in China and walked past a classroom and saw a teacher with a girl about 8 sitting in his lap while he stroked her hair with his hand. The rest of the class was doing exercises on the board. Shocked me when I saw it and I did not know what to do because this is a foreign country. In the end I told the headmaster. He was gone a month later, but I don't know if it was related. I had a teacher give me a nickname. It was Cherry. Because I had red hair and wore this cute cherry necklace that I adored because it was given to me by my best friend, R.I.P. He would walk over and grab my shoulder. And say, "How you doing, little cherry?" And yeah. He would compliment me on my hair or how I dressed and would say, "You're one of the good ones, cherry." I was never alone with him at all. I always stayed with my friends around him. Or sat towards the back of the class. I told my mom about him. And I was in advanced oceanography class and she thought he was just being friendly and told me not to make a big deal about it. Because my auto shop teacher called me Little Red. Which was way different because everyone called me that in class. 3 months later the ocean teacher was arrested for touching another student inappropriately. Bad story here. In 10th grade I was in the winter drumline, and they had instructors come from the local university to coach us. One of them friended me on Facebook and started regularly talking to me. He was 25, I was 15. It was already weird he was messaging me, but then he started telling me I was sexy and the hottest girl on the drumline. He told me I should come to his house after practice so we could have a date. I'll be honest, I considered it. But he wasn't very attractive, so I was creeped out. It really started to make me uncomfortable when he started getting touchy with me at practices. What scares me is that if he was more attractive I definitely would have gone to his house, and probably would have gotten raped or something. Anyway, I thought it was weird but didn't tell my band teacher because I was stupid and didn't want him to get in trouble. However, I did tell one of my friends, and she reported it. After that my band director had me send him screenshots of our conversations. I never saw him again. One of the other instructors said he beat his ass, but I don't know if that's true. In 2nd grade, we had a gym teacher that was always very nice to the girls and downright mean to the boys. He'd be like, "Boys run 10 laps, girls walk 3, whichever side finishes first gets a reward." Now at the time, I just thought it was just a typical teacher showing favoritism towards the girls. It wasn't uncommon for teachers to slightly favor girls or to overlook some of their misdeeds. All the boys just thought this gym teacher was doing that, but even more so than other teachers. In 4th grade, we learned that this gym teacher had been fired for getting drunk and trying to hit on one of our female classmates outside of school. In 7th grade, the gym teacher is rehired by the district and is working at the middle school. Before the year is over he is gone. We never learned what exactly happened with him this time. We were only told there was an incident with a student. I really wish I remembered his name so I could Google him and find out what eventually became of him. Probably when he got caught fucking a 16-year-old girl in a closet. I was friends with his daughter, who was also 16, and a classmate of the girl her dad was fucking. It was kept under wraps and the girl ended up transferring schools. The teacher didn't face any disciplinary action for as far as I'm aware. I never talked about it with his daughter. It was too awkward. She was really fucked up for a long time afterwards, though. Lots of drug abuse and acting out, stealing, being rude, fighting, etc. My boyfriend and I were in the car lineup at prom and waiting to move forward. There were teachers posted along the route to prevent any teen shenanigans. Anyway, I was in the passenger seat when my shop/carpentry teacher leaned all the way into the car and kissed me on the cheek. It was a big, wet, disgusting smack on my face and I was in complete shock. He then told me how beautiful I was and told my boyfriend he was very lucky. Neither of us spoke, utter silence as this creep waited for a response with this shitty grin. It took everything in us to just move forward in line and get through the event until we could process what just happened. It still bothers us, especially because we didn't have the skills to confront him or tell someone. Being in a small town, we both just wanted to act like it wasn't a big deal and prevent any gossip. How sad, and oh so creepy. Catholic school, my classmate's cousin became my teacher and he taught 2 subjects in my lower year. I was hanging out with said classmate and professor when the classmate mentioned I had done a subject 3x. Professor offered to help me as he said he helped his cousin with it anyway. I said yay sure, I can come with you guys, and he said he can only do 1x1 tutorials cause he can get distracted, so we had to do just the 2 of us. Didn't take him up on his offer. Doesn't make sense when he teaches classes of 30 people but gets distracted teaching 2 ppl. Anyway, fast forward to years after graduation, a Facebook group of anonymous confessions from my school came up and he was mentioned so many times for purposely failing pretty girls then asking for sexual favors to pass them. Sick fuck. My 9th grade science teacher was also the girls' volleyball coach and seemed very much so one of those teachers who was more interested in popular kids and stuff. He disappeared halfway through the year and allegedly it was because a girl on the volleyball team found a camera in the locker room and the whole thing was very hush-hush. I personally don't think it's true, but that was the rumor. It definitely weirded me out how chummy he was with his volleyball girls. One of our gym teachers was also a French teacher and came to France with us on a school trip. This was our senior year, and he'd look at Playboys with the guys that they bought while we were there, and I thought that was kinda creepy. I hated my math teacher, pretty much was the reason I sucked at math till high school. One day a kid was sleeping in her class, 7th grade, she grabbed him by the back of the head and slammed his head into the desk. Also my gym coach, also in 7th grade, molested a chick in the bushes while everyone was running the mile. Same dude that when I got a cut on my wrist from some glass at home, busted it back open to see how deep the cut was. 2 years later some pimp upperclassman shot the shit out of his home with him in it with .22s, didn't hurt anyone but them.